Have you ever felt like your mind just has a mind of its own? Well, today we're cracking open a 2,500-year-old guide for taking back the controls. And look, this isn't just some abstract philosophy. It's a really practical blueprint for mastering your own mind, and it comes straight from an ancient Pali text.
You know that feeling, right? You've got like a dozen tabs open in your web browser and probably a dozen more open in your brain. You feel busy, sure, but are you actually getting anywhere? It's a struggle we all know. But what if the solution wasn't some new productivity app, but an ancient system for training your own mind?
Well, the good news is there is such a system, and today we're going to walk through it step by step. We'll kick things off by uncovering what these 5 core powers of your mind even are. Then we'll get super practical with a method to purify and strengthen them. We're also going to look at the incredible rewards and, some of the surprising dangers of this practice. And finally, we'll see how it all leads to a real, genuine sense of inner freedom. So you ready to dive in? Let's do it.
Okay, so let's think of your mind as this high-performance engine. This ancient text we're looking at, it's basically the owner's manual. And it doesn't mess around with vague ideas. It hands us a toolkit with 5 very specific, very powerful faculties that once you understand them, can totally transform your inner world.
Now, the original Pali term is panchendriyani, and if we break that down, pancha means 5, and indriyani refers to these incredible inner powers or faculties. And I love this because it's not about some mystical force outside of you. No, these are levers inside your own mind that you can actually learn to operate.
So, what are these 5 powers? Well, first up, we've got saddha. You can think of this as a deep, unshakable conviction in what you're doing. Then there's virya, which is that get-up-and-go energy that just keeps you pushing forward. Next, we have sati, which is your mindfulness, right? Your ability to be right here, right now. After that comes samadhi. That's the laser-like focus that brings your mind to a single point. And finally, the big one, panya, which is the wisdom to see things exactly as they are. And hey, keep an eye on these little icons. They're going to be our road signs for this whole journey.
Okay, so now we know what these powers are. But how do we actually get them to work for us? I mean, what's the method? This is where the text gets really practical. It gives us a simple 3-step method to purify them. It's like clearing all the gunk out of an engine so it can finally run smoothly.
So it's this simple 3-part process that you can apply to each of the 5 powers. Think of it like you're gardening. First, you avoid. That's pulling out the weeds that are choking the plant. Second, you associate. You're giving it good soil and plenty of sunlight. And third, you reflect, which is like watering it with wisdom and inspiration. It sounds almost too simple, but believe me, the effect is profound.
Let's make this real. So to build that saddha, that conviction, the text says you should avoid the cynics, the constant doubters. You know who I'm talking about, the people who just drain your energy. Instead, you actively go out and find people who inspire you, people who have that quiet confidence. It's like they say, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Your environment literally shapes your mind.
And it's the exact same deal for virya, for energy. You want more drive? Well, stop hanging around people who are just content to drift along. Find the doers, the creators, the people who have a fire in their belly. It's all about consciously choosing your fuel source.
And here's what's so cool about this. The text gives us this exact same blueprint for the other 3 powers. It's a pattern. You want more mindfulness? Spend time with people who are present. You need better concentration? Learn from those who are focused. Craving wisdom? Seek out the wise and the discerning. It's this brilliant, repeatable formula for literally rewiring your brain.
All right, so we've cleared the ground, we've pulled the weeds. Now it's time to plant the seeds and actually help them grow. See, once these powers are purified, we can move to the next stage, actively developing them. And this is where things get really interesting.
Okay, here's the key insight. Developing these powers isn't like just adding another layer of paint to a wall. It's actually a zero-sum game. When you intentionally cultivate conviction, saddha, you are actively starving doubt. One grows and the other one withers away. You simply can't have both at the same time.
And the same thing goes for energy. Every single time you choose to get up and do the thing, you're kicking laziness to the curb. They just can't both live in the same house. You have to decide which one gets the key.
When you practice sati, or mindfulness, it's like turning on a really bright light in a totally dark room. The darkness, that mental fog of carelessness or pamadam, it just can't exist in the presence of that light. They're mutually exclusive. Think of your mind for a second like a candle flame. When you develop samadhi, concentration, that flame becomes steady and bright.
The winds of restlessness and agitation, they just can't make it flicker anymore. A focused mind is an incredibly powerful mind.
And now for the final transformation. As you cultivate paññā, true wisdom, it's like the sun burning away the morning fog. Ignorance, avijjam, which is really the root of so much of our struggle, it simply cannot survive in the clear light of seeing things as they truly are.
So, what's the payoff for all this work? And maybe just as important, what are the risks? The text is, well, it's brutally honest about both. It shows us these incredible rewards that are waiting for us, but it also points out the hidden traps we need to avoid. So let's take a look at the stakes.
The rewards, or asada, they're pretty amazing. We're talking about a genuine, deep-seated joy, not just some fleeting pleasure. A sense of peace that doesn't get rattled by every little thing that happens. A solid confidence in your own journey. And just imagine this, freedom from that constant inner conflict, that chatter that just wears you down.
But here's the warning label, the adinava. If you get complacent, you'll slide right back to where you started. That's the obvious danger. But there's a more subtle trap, getting attached to these powers themselves. You start thinking, wow, I'm so mindful, or I'm so focused. And suddenly, the very tools that were meant to set you free become a new kind of prison. It is such a crucial point to remember.
So, where does all this actually lead? I mean, this isn't just about becoming some kind of productivity ninja. This is a path to something much, much deeper. A fundamental shift in how you experience your own life. This is the ultimate goal.
The destination of this journey has this beautiful name, nirvana. It means escape, release, liberation. It's the freedom you find when you finally mastered these inner tools and you can see through the mental fog that creates so much of our day-to-day struggle.
And this path is laid out in 4 very clear stages. It all starts with stream entry, which is kind of the point of no return, where the journey truly begins. Then you move through these stages of weakening your deepest attachments until you reach the final goal of arahantship, a state of complete and unshakable freedom. And each step is just a deeper and deeper mastery of these 5 inner powers.
And here it is, maybe the most important takeaway of all. All 5 of these powers are absolutely crucial, but they all serve one ultimate purpose: the development of paññā, or wisdom. I mean, think about it. Conviction gives you the courage to even start. Energy keeps you going. Mindfulness keeps you on track. Concentration sharpens your focus. All of this is just to create the perfect conditions for wisdom to arise, that simple, profound ability to see things just as they are.
You know, this 2,500-year-old map to the mind is just as powerful today as it ever was. So this final question, it isn't just academic. It's an invitation for you right now. Just take a moment, look inward. Which of these 5 inner powers is calling for your attention today?